commercial units? How would you deal with them?
Yeah, Damien, pigeons are a bit of a nuisance. They're a bit of a pain, and dealing with them in the right professional way is quite key. So we've got to look at a pigeon like we look at rat, like we look at bed bugs, like we look at everything. Why are they there? There's a reason why pigeons are there, and it's going to be a few things. It's going to be shelter, roosting, harbourage. There's a food source close by, and these pigeons will not leave these areas if they're all that's in place. So we need to start looking. What can we take away from that area to help us control these pigeons? Now, yes, we can cull pigeons. Yes, we can remove pigeons. We can remove nests, eggs, all under General License 41 if it's causing hazardous health to health and property. So these are all in our powers to deal with it. However, we would like to look at it in a way holistically how we can basically stop it happening again. Obviously, pigeons, if they're established in an area, pigeons are going to be pooing and they're going to be defecating down the sides of buildings. It's going to build up in areas, and 5 or 6 to 10 pigeons over a week, you'd be amazed the amount of poo that can gather up, in that short time. So we need to get rid of that because, pigeon guano is very, very harmful to humans. It's unsightly, it's horrible to clean up, it's a mess to deal with. The pathogens and the disease you can get from pigeon guano, especially dried, obviously once it's airborne, and you start disturbing it's quite bad. It's really, you get bad infections, bad disease, lung infection. So, it's something not to treat lightly. It needs to be dealt with. So how do we get rid of them? So we come to the property, we look at the area, and we'll basically find all the resting points, find the roosting points, take away them areas. So either by physically netting, if it's safe and easy to do, and we can do it, and the area we're going to net is that we can still make it accessible for any sort of M&E engineers or sparkies, electricians to get to service. So we'll put in hatches with zips so pigeons can't get in, but humans and technicians and engineers can get in there still. Spiking, in areas of low to medium pressure. If it's an area where, for instance, hen birds have been nesting, and they'll come back, and they're just homed in. They're so Pigeons are so persistent on how, especially the hen birds, if they're nested there, you can spike it. Yeah, I've seen pigeons actually go there and land on top of spikes and nestle their way in, and try and make themselves, and they'll try and bend the spikes down. I've seen pigeons where that was their nesting site, and they'll basically get loads of twigs, and over time they'll pull it and build the where the spikes are sticking up out. They'll basically get all the twigs and debris and nesting material, and that acts as like a little foundation that holds the nest together. So that you see them on top of it, and they'll keep pooing on top of it, which knits it all together. So you've got a pigeon nest that's got a really good foundation of spikes, covered in pigeon poo, with their little nest so it doesn't blow away. So if we can take away that, net is the best, by far the best way of deterring pigeons from an area, if it's feasible. Obviously netting's a bit more involved, it's a bit more expensive. It can involve working at height, abseiling rope access teams. This it gets a little bit more involved. Obviously pigeons fly, they're going to be up high. So scaffolding, cherry pickers, towers, if we can, off ladders, but short duration, ensuring that we've got 3 points of contact at all time while we do this sort of work. So we do all this. This is all the stuff that we do. We love doing it. We enjoy doing this sort of work. It can, to do it, you've got to be a bit practical. You've got to have some sort of skill set. Construction background, or a tradesman. We're all carpenters. Myself, my guys are carpenters. So this sort of work comes a little bit second nature to us. And then followed by that, once you've got rid of the current infestation, we're now talking about the cleanup. There's no point cleaning all the pigeon guano if you're leaving the population of pigeons above your head. Just pointless, waste of money, just not economical at all. We'll carry out the cleanup. So it'll be a case of a really good wet biocide put down to basically break down all the pathogens and all the biocides that's in the pigeon guano. It sort of makes it inert, if you like, in a safest way. However, full PPE, FFP3 masks on, gloves, overalls, and then basically we'll bag it all up into tiger bags, which are hazardous waste bags, ready for removal to a contaminated site for a licensed contractor. Once we've got the bulk of it all done, it'll be a case of then reapplying all the biocide, spraying it all down, jet washing it all down, nice and clean. Pigeons being removed, be it lethal control, be it just shooing away and just taking away the area. Cleaning all the area where the ledges were, where the pigeons were going, takes away the pheromones that pigeons leave as well, which is a great thing. If you just go and say, just be a bit half-hearted, I'll use that word, half-hearted, and just remove the nest area and stuff like that, and then don't clean down and take all the pheromones away, Mrs. Pigeon's going to be back. She's going to be trying, and she's going to be back, and she'll want to be laying eggs back in there. Don't forget as well, if it's an established pigeon colony, yeah, and the pigeons that have basically been hatched and grown there and brought up there, they don't know any different. That is home to them. It's like you've been chucked out of your house at 4. Where are you going to go? You're going to go back home. And that's what they do. So it's all about eliminating them if you can. Like I said, sometimes unfortunately we've got to take lethal control and dispatch the pigeons as required, under license of course, and improve and clean.